Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video. I am excited and not so excited to be doing today's video because today we'll be unhauling some books. I have a very strange feeling about unhauling. As much as I like doing it, it gets rid of things on my bookshelves, leaves space for new things that I bring in because Lord knows I can't stop. I don't like getting rid of them. I want to keep everything, even if I don't like it, but you know, some things just got to go. So today we're going to be talking about some books that I'm unhauling either because I read them and didn't enjoy them, or because I went through my bookshelves and decided I'm never actually going to read this. So I'm having some self-control, I'm unhauling these books, and let's do it. Alright, so we have 14 books to talk about today, and let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm just going to start with my smaller stack since that's what was easiest for me to grab. And right on top, I have All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I buddy read this with one of my wonderful subscribers, and unfortunately, I just didn't love it. I ended up DNFing it at about the 100-page mark. I felt like the book was super slow, and the audiobook narrator literally talked like a sloth. He was talking so slow. It was driving me nuts. It was driving me insane. If you guys know and watch my videos, you guys know I talk fast. My brain processes things fast. I talk fast. I trip over my tongue all the time, but it's just who I am. And I just can't take it when I speed the book up to 3 times speed and it's going slower as if I was doing regular speed. It was driving me nuts. Anyways, besides the point, I just really didn't enjoy the story as a whole. I definitely want to try to read a historical fiction set in World War II because I think that it's a wonderful thing to read about. This just wasn't it for me, unfortunately. So I gave up at the 100-page mark, and I will not be keeping this on my shelves. All right, the next book we have here is a book that I didn't DNF, but I should have because it's terrible, and that was A Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. I picked this up on my Bingo TBR as my lowest rated book, and I can totally understand why it's my lowest freaking rated book because it was not good. I spent the entire book, pushing myself through saying, okay, we'll get through this, it's fine. In the end, it'll be worth it because I'll know why. I'll know why everything played out the way that it did. And did I find out why? No, absolutely freaking not. Was there any answers to the questions that I had the entire book? No, there was 0 answers, and it just felt so pointless. The audiobook was not great. The characters were horribly written. It just felt like unnecessary nonsense and unnecessary everything, to be honest. And this was just not a book that I enjoyed. So I will definitely not be keeping this. All right, the next 2 books I'm going to talk about are spoilers for this month's reading and books that I thoroughly enjoyed, but they're both mysteries, and I just have no intention of rereading a mystery that I already know the twist, so I will be getting rid of these. The first one is Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty, and I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was a fun time. I really enjoyed the snarky moms and the crazy kindergarten drama and the craziness that was this small town, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think the book was a little bit long and long-winded, but there were a lot of things in this book that I really did enjoy. This book does have trigger warnings for sexual assault and domestic violence, and so if you're not comfortable reading about that, I would definitely not pick this up because the domestic violence is talked about in great detail, and I just felt like the book really captured the emotions and how these women feel about the things that happen to them, and I thought that it was portrayed really well. I definitely want to read more about this topic in the future, but overall the mystery was great. I was guessing till the end, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Would definitely recommend if you're looking for more of a slow-pace domestic thriller that focuses a lot on characters. All right, up next we have The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn. Again, I enjoyed this book. I liked it. It was a fun time to listen to and read. Was it the best mystery I've ever read in my whole life? No. But was it entertaining? Yes. Was I intrigued the entire time? Yes. But I would never reread it. Some of the twists in this book really threw me for a loop. Other ones I kind of guessed. But overall, it was a fun time. I just wouldn't reread it again. And I love how I'm not giving you a synopsis for any of these books. I'll do better as we go on. But the next one that we have here is The House on Mango Street. This is by Sandra Cisneros. Jeez. Help. It's late, by the way, so don't judge me. This is about a girl who grows up on a house on Mango Street. It's told in short stories, and I think that this book was interesting. It was very, very short, and that's the reason why I picked it up. I wanted a short book to add to my TBR this month. Actually, this was from this month as well. Anyways, and I just didn't see why everyone loves it so much, and I don't really know how else to put that. It doesn't sound like I'm silly and I don't understand like literature, but this book just didn't do it for me. I thought that it talked about some really awesome things. There was some talk about domestic abuse. There was some talk about rape, and but I think it's geared towards younger readers, and it talked about some really awesome topics. I just didn't connect with the characters. I didn't feel like this overarching love for the book that everyone else seems to. It's really highly acclaimed, and it's won awards. Like, I've heard it's really good. It just didn't quite click for me. So for that reason, I would not reread it, and I'm not going to be keeping it on my shelves. All right, the next book that I'm going to talk about is a book that at one point in time I did want to get to, and now I just don't. From what I can remember, this book is about two conjoined twins that are trying to live their own lives but together, and with things that are going on in their life, they are trying to figure out whether or not they want to get the surgery that will disconnect the two. But with the surgery comes a lot of risks, including death, and the twins are really struggling to figure out what they want to do with their lives and the path that they're leading on. And it sounds like a good, hard-hitting contemporary, but looking at all the books on my shelves, this wasn't calling to me. I've had it for months and months and still haven't picked it up, and have no inclination to pick it up, so for that, I'm going to be giving it away. All right, up next, I have a graphic novel, and that is Laura Dean, He's Breaking Up With Me. This is by Mariko Tamaki? I cannot say these names. I don't even know why I try anymore. But I read this graphic novel 2 months ago? Yeah, in June. I read it in June, so whatever that was. This is where this year has no concept of time. Anyways, I just didn't enjoy this. I wanted to enjoy it. It is literally about what the title says. This girl is dating another girl named Laura Dean, and she keeps breaking up with her. And the relationship was just toxic, and I didn't like the main character at all either. And so it didn't make the graphic novel enjoyable. I felt like the graphic novel itself was put together well. It wasn't choppy, or it didn't jump around into different spots of the storyline, but it just overall wasn't an enjoyable read for me. I did really love the art style. It has these really awesome pink hues, which is so cute, and if I was just keeping it based on how cute it is, I would totally keep it, but I have limited space and don't have space in my life to keep books I just didn't enjoy, so this one is going to go. All right, the next one is an ARC, and usually I would keep my ARCs because I get them for free, don't pay for them because we can't sell them at the store, so we just take them if we're interested in them, and I would totally keep it if it wasn't the third book in a series. So yes, this is a sequel to a series that I have not even heard of, nor have I any intention of starting, so it just doesn't make sense to keep it. And that's pretty much it. I literally do not know what this is about. So yeah, we're gonna move on. All right, the next book, I literally thought that I unhauled this already, but apparently I didn't, and that is Recursion by Blake Crouch. I did read this and did thoroughly enjoy this. This is a sci-fi that has to do with something called false memory syndrome. Basically, these people become aware of a past life that they have lived, but the two memories of their current life and their past life conjoin, and it's called false memory syndrome, and it follows this entirely interesting timeline of what false memory syndrome can do to a person. It basically drives them mad, and it is very easily digestible sci-fi, something that was really fun to read. It was super fast paced. I like the way that the story turned out. It was a little open-ended for my taste. I wanted some more things wrapped up, but overall it was a really, really good book. I just don't see myself rereading it again. I do have another one of Blake Crouch's books on my shelves, and I will definitely continue to read his work. This just is not something that I can see myself rereading. So for that reason, I will not be continuing to keep it on my shelf. All right, we have another graphic novel, and that is Archie, Volume 1. This is part of the Riverdale series, and I just didn't enjoy this. I do have the second book that I will read at some point and then eventually unhaul because I have no intention of continuing on with the series. But this just didn't seem fun. I don't really know how else to say that. It felt very juvenile. The relationships in this book I just didn't care about. I didn't really care for any of the characters or the storyline. I did watch several episodes of Riverdale and enjoyed the series, but this has no like correlation to what that series is, and so it didn't feel exciting, and I didn't have a like heightened experience with this. So for that reason, I will read the second book because I own it, but I have no intention of continuing on after that. All right, guys, let's spit in my mouth and oh, I don't know what's happening, but it's happening. Up next, we have 3 books that I had picked up at library book sales and wanted to read and now don't want to read. So we have One Blood Ruby by Melissa Marr. I just realized I'm unhauling 2 Melissa Marr books. Nothing against her. Haven't actually read her as an author, but will not be keeping these. This is another one that is a second book in the series and have no intention of reading it or picking up the first book, so why should I keep it on my shelves if I'm not gonna read it? It was very cheap. I don't feel bad about getting rid of it, and I have zero idea what this is about because I didn't want to read the synopsis because it was the second book in a series. So there you go. All right, we have a book by Cynthia Han. It's called Unearthly. I believe this is a paranormal YA romance that at one point or another I had some interest in reading and now have no interest in reading. At the time it sounded intriguing. I love the color, the fact that it's purple. I love the color. No, I love the fact that the book is purple because I do love purple. It's my favorite color. Anyways, so random tangents. But I have no intention of reading this anymore, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. All right, and the second to last book and the last book that I haven't read is Runaway by Harlan Coben. This sounds interesting, but after what I've heard about reviews and like my extended interest in mysteries, this just doesn't seem like something that I would enjoy. This follows a father whose daughter has kind of been MIA from his life for a little while now, and he ends up running into her on a random street somewhere, and instead of welcoming him with open arms, she runs away, and he decides to run after her, and he gets sucked into this crazy world of what she does in her life. I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, I'm not, but anyways, it just doesn't sound like a book that I will enjoy anymore, so for that I will not be keeping this. All right, and the very last book that I will be unhauling today is The Help by Catherine Stockett. I read this last month, and it was for a book club that I was co-hosting for that month, and I did really enjoy the book as a whole. I ended up giving it a 4-star. I thought that it was a lot of fun to read, and especially since I've watched the movie before, it was just a fun experience to get to see a little bit more of what the book had to offer, and I really enjoyed it. I liked the characters, I liked the storyline, I liked what this book had to offer. It's just not a book that I could see myself rereading, especially since it's a thick one, and it just didn't feel like it requires a reread. Like, it's something that stuck with me, something that I appreciate the fact that I read, just not something that I need to continue to read again and again each year. So for that, I will not be keeping it. I bought it for the book club. The book club is over. I read it. I loved the experience. Just have no intention of continuing to read it again. So that's it. That is the last book that I will be unhauling. 14 books in total. Comparatively, compared to all of the books that I own, which is over 300 books, close to and bordering on 400. I probably should be unhauling more, but I can't. I just can't. So that being said, that is the end of this video. I hope that you I hope you liked it. Oh my god. I hope that you liked it. I would love to know in the comments below any books that you've recently unhauled, or if you don't unhaul, let me know that as well. I feel you. I feel you, but I gotta. But that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And of course, leave any comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!